Can I congratulate the Bagandi band? I remember Bagandi very well when I was here. Well done. And all the other groups. And can I thank all the others who have greeted us so friendly since we arrived here last Friday. And also, can I congratulate all the ground staff and students and so on. The grounds here are looking excellent, so well done. It's an honour and a privilege to speak here today at the 60th anniversary of Balob Teachers College. I'm grateful that my wife Lois and our 4 children, Teresa, Michael, Graham and Stephen, are all also here on this very special occasion. Also present, Teresa's husband Tony and their 2 sons, Brenton and Matthew. I thought it would be appropriate to speak about how Balob started. Initially, the Lutheran Church had 5 small centres training teachers. It was realised that the small centres would need to be consolidated. I quote from an article Pastor Rufus Peck, the Vice Principal, wrote for the small booklet produced for the opening ceremony in November 1965, and I quote, In 1959, planning was begun for a central teacher training school near Lae. By 1962, concrete proposals were prepared for a master plan to be drawn up by a qualified architect. The problem of finance was not resolved until 1964, when funds were granted for the major part of the cost of erecting a boarding college for 400 students and expected to cost £250,000, which would be about 1.5 million kina today, end of quote. The major donor was the federal German government through the Bavarian Lutheran Church, an amount of £200,000, 1 million kina. This was a very large sum of money. Work began in June 1963 with Lloyd Spike, an Australian in charge of a workforce of more than 50. Pastor Peck took up residence on the site mid-1964. Work continued until the middle of 1966, so we all became accustomed to having construction work going on all around us. The students, where they could, and it was appropriate, assisted in the building program. The quality of the workmanship by all involved was excellent. As you can see, the buildings are all still here today. Obviously, more have been built since. The Lutheran Church, to its credit, staffed the college with very experienced lecturers. There were 8 of us at the beginning. Sadly, as far as we know, only Colleen Bradkey from Australia and Dale Bussey, United States, and myself are still living. And it was good to see and hear the greeting from Colleen and Dale. Unfortunately, we have not been able to make contact with Professor Uwe Carstensen from Germany. We've tried but haven't managed that. In 1965, the enrolment was 93, including 20 girls. We were delighted at the end of the year when 58 students graduated as qualified teachers. Very early, the college moved to have all students, regardless of the entry level, stay for 2 years. The official opening of the college on the 27th of November 1965 was a truly momentous event. I quote from the small booklet by the Director of Education, L.W. Johnson. He wrote, "Large teachers' colleges have 3 main advantages over the small ones. They enable the staff to specialise and bring to their students specialised knowledge about a particular field of work. They enable students to engage in work and recreation with other students who have the same interests. They enable the Teachers College to develop a character and spirit of its own, end of quote. I concluded my small contribution in the small booklet with the words, "God has richly blessed the college staff during this first year. We pray for his continued blessings in the years to come," end of quote. When Balob began, there were a few who felt we shouldn't worry too much about training girls to be teachers because they probably stay too long as teachers, they get married and so on. In 2005, during a visit on my way from Madang to Lae, I met one of those early female teachers still working. She had been to a number of remote schools and was still working after 35 years in remote areas. This pleased me immensely, and it showed how seriously students took the motto to serve. A major event in 1969 was the decision of the Anglican Church to become an associate partner. As a result, the Anglican Church supplied 3 staff members, you've heard from 2 of them, and 25 students and a representative on the college council. This was a tremendous boost to the college. I am absolutely delighted that this partnership has lasted 56 years, and I pray it will long to continue. Another very important event was self-government in 1970 and the introduction of the national system in education. Since then, students from all churches have been welcomed at Balob. I remember with pleasure going to commissioning services at the end of the year at Catholic, Lutheran, Uniting and Anglican services. Most important of all was September 1975, independence. This means in September this year, it will be 50 years of independence. Papua New Guinea is a democracy, and Australia and Papua New Guinea have an excellent relationship. Congratulations on this achievement. Papua New Guinea has a special place in the life of Lois and me. During our 15 years here, my 3 eldest children all went to school here in Papua New Guinea, while Stephen was born in Angao Hospital, Lae, in 1976. Lois, Stephen and I were here for the 25th anniversary. Lois, Teresa and I were here for the 50th anniversary, and now we're all here for the 60th anniversary. I have also been able to visit Papua New Guinea on 3 other occasions. My son Michael, in his role as Chief Executive Officer of Australian Lutheran World Service for the past 2.5 years, has been to Papua New Guinea a number of times, and he will make further visits. My grandson Brenton, as you've now heard, from the beginning of this year is Consul-General here in Lae. So Lois and I are really delighted that our family and grandchildren are involved. It keeps us in touch with what's happening here. When I left, the enrolment in 1979 was over 300. And now it is 1,000, and the course is 3 years. There are about equal numbers of male and female students. These students come from all over the country. During the past 6 years, Many thousands of teachers have been trained, certainly more than 10,000. And this is really an amazing achievement, so well done to the staff. My prayer is that Balob will in the years to come continue this tremendous contribution of service to the country and community. In that spirit, friends and family in Australia wish to contribute to its future. I'm pleased to announce about 20,000 kina has been raised. At my age, this probably will be my last visit, but I've learned over the years to never say never. I would conclude by saying, coming to Papua New Guinea in 1965 was the best thing I ever did. Why do I say that? The 15 years here changed my life for the better. The experience, the experience of working with the students and staff from various countries, because we had staff from New Zealand, India, Sri Lanka, United Kingdom, and of course our Papua New Guinean staff members. And these traditions made me more patient and tolerant. It improved my teaching, which carried over to when I returned to Australia. When I left, I said I would always be a supporter of Papua New Guinea and its people. I believe I've kept this promise. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to give respect to the founding principal. Please all stand.